This is the J. Ramone podcast, and I am here with Aaron Korstjens from the band Horse Called War. And I'm going to adjust the camera because I bumped it earlier.
What in the world?
I'm a fatty. I knocked it. There
yeah, you're a fatty. I'm just sitting here thinking my fucking beer gut is in, I'm not the 35-year-old guy with fucking abs anymore. I'm 54-year-old guy with gut. My stomach tattoo says unbreakable now.
I want to say thanks for coming up on a Thursday, which I know is the NFL draft tonight, and you are a massive Chicago Bears fan, and they had the number one pick.
Yep.
And you being a big fan and just saying, yeah, I'll come up there and do that, I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, dude. I appreciate it. You have been in the Horse Called War camp on the inner circle of of our band since the jump when you were doing college radio in Claremore.
Yep.
And giving us spins, and through when you came up here and worked for the other company, and there was so much success that Horse was able to gain directly as a result because of your work and your word of mouth. So, of course, I can come up and shoot the shit for half an hour or two.
It was different back then, man. Like, everybody just kind of left me alone and let me do my deal. As long as the ratings were good, they really didn't say anything. They were just like, okay.
It was a different time.
And with the locals,
back when you could pee in a beer bottle in the studio, that wasn't our band. We just happened to be in the room.
With the local scene, though, too, there was so much more hand-to-hand, face-to-face interaction with the fan base.
You still passed out flyers,
and you had that network of people that you were calling and saying, hey, we just got added to this show or whatever.
You had a clipboard with an email list. You'd send out emails, and people responded, and you had one-on-one interaction. I know a lot of people hate selling tickets, and don't get me wrong, selling tickets sucks. It's a pain in the ass. Everybody knows that. But that aside, when you go to someone's house, their work, whatever, and you hand them those tickets and you sit and shoot the shit with them for a few minutes. There are so many fans, and I hate the term fans, but because it seems
because
so
they become friends.
That's exactly right. I can think of so many guys and ladies that I've become good friends with, that I'm still very good friends with to this day, that I talk to on a regular basis. And these are all people that start off by taking tickets to their house and then come to shows and spending their money to come to our shows.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, on most of those shows, especially the ones opening for national bands, you guys weren't making a dime, really.
No.
You were using your own gas money.
Yep. I would typically spend an hour or two a week, 2 or 3, an hour or two a day, 2-3 days a week, depending on how much closer it got to the show. Like about a month out, maybe I'm going out one day. Second week, a couple days, but like the 2 or 3 nights before a show, like maybe if it's a Friday night show, Tuesday, Wednesday before that, say, look, I got to get these out because, you'd have one more rehearsal before a big show or something, and then not a show, I'm done. But I'd go, it wouldn't be anything for me to be out for 4 hours. Driving all over. I would drive to people like, well, I'm in El Reno. I said, well, I'll come to you first. El Reno, Chickasha, all over Metro OKC. There's times I'd start with the full tank and have to fill up before I was done. But, I didn't mind doing it because that's the name of the game. You got to, what's Max Baker always say? You got to hustle if you want to get there, man.
Well, there's a reason why you guys got to play opening for so many great bands over the years.
Yeah, it's not just you can have a product, and we did have a pretty accessible product for metal.
You can be the best band in the world, but if you can't bring one person,
that's exactly right.
You're never going to get a gig.
You got to have both. You've got to have a product, and then you've got to be willing to go out and hustle for it. And we did. Horse worked our asses off.
You guys were one of those bands that, if a show with a national band was in the tank and was losing boatloads of money, they could add Horse Called War to the bill and make it break even.
Yeah, we did that a few times. I'm not going to say who, but I
do know.
There's a one of the biggest names in metal that we saved that show.
One of the big four.
Yeah, and we saved that show. We sold more tickets than they did in pre-sale and in walk-up.
Before you were added to the show.
Yeah, and they were dicks to us.
And we fed them.
Yeah. Yeah, they made us go out in the rain. Dicks. I'm still a fan, though. I'm still a fan.
Do you think some of that is because you outsold them by a couple of hundred?
No, I don't think. Do you think they knew that?
Doubtful.
No, I think no. My thing was they were just standoffish and they were rude. Of course, there was another opener, and they just sat there in awe at the front of the stage like this while they're up there setting up and sound checking. Now, this is the only. Did you know that was the only rehearsal show that they had ahead of the Big Four tour? Mm-hmm. So they get there. The truck shows up with their gear. A few things are being trucked down from Guitar Center. Their entire backline is there. It's getting put into cases, all set up.
They were essentially prepping for tour.
Prepping for tour that day. Okay, so they've got a million things going. I get it's high stress environment, yada yada. They hadn't rehearsed. Painfully obvious the singer wasn't prepared. Things like that. The whole time they're dealing with all this shit and arguing back and forth, one of the openers is just 4 feet from the barricade, just like this. I'm over at merch where everybody else is doing their thing, and their guy, the guitar player, goes, "What the fuck are these guys doing? Who the fuck is this? Get the fuck, all you motherfuckers, get the fuck out!" That's the old merch table at the Diamond in the corner, and I kind of slink down, and their tour manager goes, "He already saw you, dude." And I go, "I'm trying to." He goes, "It ain't gonna matter." "I fucking see you too, you bald motherfucker. You get the fuck out too." Fuck. And I'm like, I just got a plate of food too. And I go, "Can I finish eating the fucking rain, asshole?" Fuck. Okay. So go eat in the rain. But what are you going to do? It's their show. That's what
their show. It's
their show. Dude, so I go eat in the rain. But anyway.
You got to love TMs like that.
Yeah. But the TM was cool. It was it was you know who. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But that said, that is one bad experience out of hundreds of good ones. Most of the bands were amazing. Talk about not getting paid. The infamous show with Guar and Lamb of God, us and Job for a Cowboy. We all go to City Nights.
I always forget Job for a Cowboy was on that bill.
Yeah. Remember the singer and I? He got shitty about the flyer?
Yeah.
The graphic artist that made the flyer didn't want to move shit around. Job for a Cowboy, so flyers like this, for those of you, imagine like this. You're looking at a flyer like this, Lamb of God, Guar, and then Job for a Cowboy's logo is down here, and then all the info. Well, he stuck us here, so it looks like we're billed above Job for a Cowboy.
Should have been.
Well, so we're backstage, and we're loading in, and we're saying, hey, and the singer goes, "Oh, you're the locals." Guitar player goes, "Oh, no, that's fucking direct support. Look at the flyer." And I go, "Hey, about that, I called the promoter and asked about that. And they were like, "Yeah, we're not fucking with it," because we got added to that show 2 weeks before the date. And so, anyway, I'm sorry. And they were like, "Whatever, man. It's fucking ridiculous." I go, we didn't have anything to do with it. So anything they needed the rest of the night, anything got brought, ask the fucking locals. Ask the big-ass locals. They were those guys. Mm-hmm. So we went up there. We did our thing. We had a really good show. And as we're coming off, big ramp that comes off that stage. Singer had spent our whole set on that ramp like this, all puffed up, giving me the stank eye. So I walk by. I give him a big hug, pat him on the back real hard. "I think you just got your ass kicked by a bunch of fucking locals." And I've never been that guy to anybody, but he's like, "Fuck you." And I go, "Fuck you, pal. Go get him, champ." Everybody's laughing anyway. So that night, that's why they didn't come, because they were like, "Fuck those guys." It's like, well, whatever. You're missing on a whole night of free drinking.
We had a good time.
Shit, yeah. But anyway, so we're sitting there at the table, and that's when we were talking to Randy Bly about that European tour we had been talked about buying onto. And he says, "Well, how much you guys make a show?" And I said, "Well, it depends on this and that." And they're like, "Tonight we didn't make anything." "You didn't make any fucking money?" "No." I said, "This was to help promote a headline show we have at that same venue in 2 weeks." So, no, we didn't get paid. This dude reaches in, grabs his wallet, starts grabbing cash, and tells Chris, hey, you got some money. These guys didn't make money. Chris Adler pulls his wallet out. And I'm like, no. Look, it's fine. No bullshit. Everybody gets paid. Literally almost had
That's what type of guys they are. That's
literally
what's so
almost
wild.
had to fight Randy Blythe to not give us $100, $200. I was like, no, it's fine. Dude, we live here. We didn't travel. It's good.
I am such a fan of Lamb of God because I've been there in those moments, behind the scenes where they could have been dicks if they wanted to. But every single time, they have gone out of their way to be gracious to the local bands on the bill and just be great human beings to everybody. Not to mention just destroy the place on stage.
How good were they? Was it about 2 months ago when they were
Oh, it was so good.
They're 25 years in, and they're still bringing like they're in their 30s.
Unbelievable.
They're just killing it.
And the dude was wearing a Peeling Flesh shirt.
Yeah. God, you talking about somebody that's killing it right now. Jesus Christ, have you seen videos from their tour that they're on right now?
No.
Atom bombs everywhere they play. Just massive circle pits, shit like you just look at it and you go, God, if I could be 30 again. Oh, God damn. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Peeling Flesh is just destroying the world right now.
So let's talk about Horse Called War.
Okay.
When did the band start?
As Horse Called War, or just the very first incarnation of the whole thing?
What was the band you were in before that got the Metal Blade offer?
Oh, that was Ethic Cult.
Ethic Cult.
Ethic Cult was from 90. I was in Ethic Cult from... Ethic Cult was originally Desire. Then they decided to want to get a little heavier. About 91-ish. Brian had joined. Brian Slusser, who was also part of Horse Called War. He was in Ethic Cult. They needed a bass player. I was still playing bass at that time, and another thing that just couldn't get off the ground. We shared a rehearsal space. That was like 91. That band went till about 95, late 95, got really, really close to. Matter of fact, we got offered contracts from Metal Blade like 5 or 6 weeks after we had broken up, and we couldn't even. It had so badly, we couldn't even get in the same room to talk about this contract, and it was a nice contract.
So after that, was there a project between?
I didn't do anything. I said I'm not doing music anymore. I concentrated on career, job.
You were playing bass in Ethic Cult.
That's correct, right? But I'd always thought about being a front man. I became an Alice in Chains fan, and I went, hey, I love you, Jason Newsted and Cliff Burton and Rob Trujillo and all those guys. But I saw Lane Staley, and I was like, that's what I want to do. That and Phil Anselmo and those guys, but mainly it was Lane Staley. So I started just teaching myself how to sing. And then, 2001-ish, maybe just so, Brad Sloan, Eric Little, 2 guys I started Horse Called War with, we had gone to see some other friends play in a band called Gears of Redemption. Really, really insanely good Christian, early metalcore kind of vibes, like Seven Dust but heavier Christian band. God, they're incredible band that did one really good record, had a decent record deal, and it just never happened. It just kind of stopped before it started, unfortunately. But we went to go see those guys, and we got talking about, hey, do you ever do anything? No, man, I'm not doing this band shit. No, come on, just come over and jam. So I just kind of ignored it. Well, about a week or two later, we were all at Cool Daddy's to watch another friend's band. That friend says, hey, get up and do Alice in Chains with me. So I get up there and do an Alice in Chains song with them. God damn it if I didn't get bit by the bug. Next day, Brad, who happened to be there, that calls me, hey, next weekend come over and we'll hang out. And so we started learning covers. We were Fat Daddy, played the cover circuit, all those bars, Cool Daddies and Samurai and shit, all those bars. But we also started writing. Slowly started interjecting more and more originals to the point. Remember one show we had Churro said too many originals. I don't want to hear that shit. You can have 1 or 2 a set. That's it. It was like, this shit's good. I don't want to do covers anymore. So we changed the name and did this goofy-ass Battle of the Bands thing that turned out to be just a complete fucking sham. When I told you where your buddy from the Norman Transcript and I got into it. And, yeah, anyway.
Doug.
Yeah, Doug. Anyway, and Max had a guy there, or a guy that had scouted for Max or whatever was there and liked us. And then about 2 weeks later, I got a call from Max. We did one of his shows at the time, and we sold tickets for it, and we were like second because it was our first show. And we sold well. I think our very first show at the time, and we did 75 to 100 before anybody knew, because everybody was like, "Fuck yeah, that's so cool, you guys ever." We did well. I think like I said, we were first or second because Max was like, "I can't put you any later because I don't know who the fuck you are.
Right.
You're gonna have to earn it." And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, I'd done work with Max back in at the Cold, so it just kind of snowballed from there, man. We about 90 days after that, we put out the Barriers EP, and then not long after we put that out, that drummer quit, rhythm guitar player quit. Brian came on. Danny Silva was in the band. We put out the EP, Tainted America. Played on that a lot. Started getting more and more nationals. That was the EP we started getting, like, the first Lamb of God show on. I think there's a Shadows Fall show in there, a Hate Breed show. When all those bands were coming up. Bleed the Sky, that's when we met those guys and did countless shows with them. First on Earth show was around that time. And then we did that from, I don't know, 03, 04, 05, because those two EPs came out pretty close within each other. About 04, 05, TJ had joined the band. Danny had left. And it's like, hey, we need to write. So we just kind of stopped doing shows. Those guys spent.
Danny said, you guys aren't heavy enough, and I'm having to slow down my drumming way too much, so I'm going to bow out of this.
Well, Danny, no, I don't think it was. I really think it was Danny's kids were, I want to say like that age like your boys are.
Yeah,
now,
that would have been the time.
8, 9, and then his daughter was probably 10 or 11, so he's like just bouncing a lot, Now, I'm not going to tell his story, but Danny's had to deal with a lot of bullshit to get where he is for his kids. And he was in the middle of all that. And he was like, I've just got to go do this. And shout out to him for... I
just like busting Danny's balls.
But for real, I've never seen anybody work harder for their kids than Danny Silva. Jesus Christ, that guy's been through the shitter and back multiple times, and he always comes out with a smile.
Absolutely.
Dusts himself off, keeps going. Anyway, so TJ joins the band. He and Eric and Brian just kind of locked themselves in the studio multiple nights a week for the better part of about 3 or 4 months and wrote Becoming. And they would give me music, and then I'd go in and write vocals to it, and we'd get back together and we'd finish it. And then we had a little 4-track that we were demoing off with live mics, Got that whole thing demoed off. I think we wrote 13 or 14 songs for that. Called Cameron, went in and recorded that record, and then played. That thing came out in 07. We played on that and played on that and played on that and played on that all over the country. Had the offer from Dirtbag, took that with the promise that they were going to move us up the ladder. That's when you were part of Slingshot. Mm-hmm. Slingshot was managing us along with Mike Pierce and a couple other people. Most people around here probably don't even know.
David Brown was a part of that.
Yep. Do you remember why they dropped us?
No.
So we're about a year into that contract. Remember, it's just a distro deal because they didn't like the record.
Right.
But they liked all of our momentum, our SoundCloud, or not SoundCloud, SoundScan.
MySpace and SoundScan. And
our live numbers were great. Like, we were pulling 3 to 5 in every market we were in. And then here we were pulling 1,000 or more.
Your Polestar numbers.
That's right. That's what it was. So it's okay. We'll do a distro deal with you. We'll put you on all the platforms. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're about a year into this thing, and Pierce can't get
statements, right?
Yeah, we couldn't get a statement from him. So he got, he's an attorney now, but he used to be a singer of Erotic Suicide. Rick, I can't think of his last name. I know what his stage name used to be, but anyway, I think it was Rick. Anyway, so Mike has him call and say, hey, we need these numbers or we're going to sue you for breach of contract and we're going to get out of this deal. Because meantime, we're starting to gain traction. We're starting to get buzz from Metal Blade again. We're starting to get buzz from Century Media and all those metal labels. So they send us an email. This thing was so poorly faked that it's like this. They made an Excel document that wasn't Excel. It was fake. We're like, this is horseshit. What the fuck? So we set up a big conference call. We go around the room. Everybody says their hellos. We ask what's the deal. I'm supposed to shut the fuck up, and I just go, what the fuck? They just stop me right there. Sir, I'd like to refer you to article blah, 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 section of your contract where it says, we will provide your numbers. That's not exactly what it said, but that's, the gist of it. We're like, yeah. Meaning, and then the light bulb goes ding, and we're all like, fuck. That means our numbers are whatever they say they are.
Whatever they say they are.
If we say you sold 4 and you sold 40,000, we owe you for 4. And we're like, that's horse shit. And Rick says, yeah, we'll see you guys in court, blah, blah, blah. The next morning, get a call, and Pierce goes, they dropped us. We're off. And it's not like we had a zillion sales. Maybe they owed us for, I don't know, we kind of guesstimated somewhere around the 10,000 copy range or so.
I was going to say 15K.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Because it was doing well. We were getting buzz from all over the place. But yeah, I was like, you guys have fucking, because, Dirtbag was under Sony. I'm like, you guys have fucking Beyonce's money. What the fuck do you need mine for? But anyway, so we didn't do anything. We did the little EP with Provo that, after Mark joined. And, that whole thing just took so much wind out of us.
Let's talk about the Becoming era real fast. So during this time, this is when you guys are really getting big, and you can headline your own shows in Oklahoma City and really in Tulsa too, at bigger venues with other local support, and it do well, especially Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
But who were some of the really, big bands that you guys were playing with? Because I remember Anthrax, I remember Killswitch Engage, obviously Lamb of God, and Gwar.
We played with Unearth multiple times because
Unearth a bunch.
We became friends with them, and Trevor's label Ironclad was shopping us, so we became friends with them. The Destro and
the Destro that was on Century Media.
Yeah, and they came. We'd known them from being in Texas. An early version of Upon a Burning Body, but I can't remember what it was called.
Right.
A couple of those guys from San Antonio that we were friends with. But some of the bigger names like Testament.
Testament, that's right.
In This Moment.
A couple of times within this moment. Maybe 3.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't want to sound like there were so many, but there really was a bunch. It's really hard to keep track of. We were really lucky, man. We earned it, but we were fortunate as well because we were right place, right time. But we made a lot of good friendships.
There was a rise in the success of metal at that time. Metal was getting bigger in popularity, and so that helped too. That all of these bands were touring through Oklahoma. Didn't you guys play with Lacuna Coil one time?
No, I don't think we ever did them.
Arch Enemy?
I think we played with Kitty once.
Kitty? All That Remains a couple of times?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else. There was Machine Head.
Oh, gosh, Machine Head. That's a funny story. The Machine Head show, we had been split up for about 18 months, but nobody really knew we were split up. We were just kind of not doing anything. But unbeknownst, you knew.
I knew.
People inside the circle knew, but we never put it out there that we'd split up. And I get a call from Bobby Shelton, who says, and it's April 1st. It just happens to be April 1st. Hey, know anybody that would be good to open for Machine Head? I'm not in the scene anymore, so I don't really know. I go, I don't know either, but I tell you what, I'll get Horse Called War back together and we'll open it. Thinking for sure he's cluing in. It's April 1st and I'm fucking with him. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. He hangs up. About 20 minutes later, my phone rings, and I'm at work. It's back when I still worked in a warehouse out there on the base, and, I'm working. My phone rings, and it's Tony Proctor. Hey, man, you really going to get the band back together? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I am, man. Mind you, I haven't said anything to anybody. I thought Bobby knew it was a joke. Yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, well, we're working this thing. I'll call you back later with everything. Fuck, dude, yeah, this is going to be great. Hang up the phone, and I'm like, oh, shit. I don't even have a fucking band. So I immediately start texting the guys, hey, we got a chance to open for Machine Head. I know we're not a band, but we got a chance to open for Machine Head. Within minutes, all the guys in. Okay, kick ass. Wasn't just maybe 20 minutes after I get the call from Bobby. Tony calls, text everybody. 30 minutes after that, David Fitzgerald. Hey man, David Fitzgerald, DCF concerts. Yeah. So you guys are in for this thing, right? I said, yeah, fuck yeah, man. Thanks for thinking of us. Oh, dude, this is gonna be great. Appreciate you. You've always done good work for that whole thing. Hang up, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening, dude? About an hour after that, Machine Head's tour manager calls me. I'm like, I don't even know how this guy got my fucking number. Hey, you're Horse Skull War? Yeah, I'm Horse Skull War. How are you, man? Well, I hear good things about you guys. You guys on this show. Really need to, push some tickets and let's make this thing a great night. You got a fucking A, man. We ended up selling well over 250 for that thing. Yeah, it was a great show. Got to hang out with me and Rob and Ben at the end of the night. Sat in that back green room and drank Oklahoma beer. Shout out to Marshall Brewing. Sat there and drank Marshall's 46 and just got tanked up. And yeah, those were great guys. They watched our whole set. And do you remember we tried to hire Rob to produce the record we were working on that we were demoing off? For those of you guys who want to hear a few of those, it's the unreleased stuff. On our Spotify, just go look for it. But yeah, we just couldn't afford him, and he remembered that. He goes, I remember listening to demos of you guys, so I had to come fucking watch your show. And anyway, just Rob Flynn's just chilling, watching the whole set. Like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, I'm getting all giddy fanboy now.
That was a good show.
Fuck yeah, it was. They killed. They're so good live. They are always good live. Always, always, always. I still hate that Phil and Dave left, but it's always been Rob's band.
Yeah, and plus Phil's got to fill in for every other touring metal band.
He has a new thing with John Bush.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep, Category 7, Category 9, something like that.
So during that Becoming era, there was a local show that was at the Coca-Cola Bricktown Event Center. How many people did that thing hold? 3,000?
No, I think
25?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was 15 or 17.
I thought it was more. I thought it was close to 2,000.
No, I think it was about 15 or 17.
All I know is there was a shitload of people there.
Yep.
And it was sold out.
Yep. Yeah, Ben and I were always the last. Ben, our stage manager, we're always the last to get to leave. Like the guys would show up, we'd all do load in. I'm settling, production office tickets and things of that nature. Ben would take care of merch till the merch girl got there. These things, and then Coca-Cola Event Center always had a shower, so I would always just instead of go home and shower and shave my head, I'd just shave there. Loaded to be 1 or 2. We get all that shit done about 3 or 4. Go shave my head, and then doors. Right at doors, Ben and I would always be the last ones. We'd walk down the street and eat, and we were down there eating, having a beer, and Tony Proctor calls and goes, "Hey man," or maybe he texts. I don't remember. You just sold out. Congrats. And I say all the bands on that package sold it. I think it was a 10, 12 bands, 2 stages. Blow me away, man.
All locals.
All locals. 100%. All Oklahoma City bands. Packed over 1,500 in there. It was pretty cool. We brought in extra staging and stuff. There's a cool video for it on our YouTube page, the whole show. It's really raw and really unedited and uncut, but it looks pretty cool.
So at that point, the band starts going through lineup changes.
Yeah.
Member changes.
Yeah.
So what was the first big lineup change?
Well, the first one was when Eric left. Eric left the night we released the Becoming CD. Now, he did a few shows after that, but he told us he informed us he was leaving the band the night of the Becoming release party. He comes out, we're all loaded up, and he goes, "Okay, that's it for me, man." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll see you there." Meaning we're going to this after party, thing. He goes, No. I'm going to the house. I'm out of the band. We just had a sold-out show at the Bricktown Ballroom. We just sold $1,000 worth of merch. Sold out at the show at the door. All those things, Great show with us and Ricketts. And I got to go tell everybody, hey, wah, wah, wah. Guitar player quit. So Cameron Conyer filled in for a while. And then we got Mark Johnson. And Mark Johnson stayed with the band for quite a while. TJ was in. Then he was out. Then he was back in. Guy named Robert Perry was in for a little while, playing drums. God, that kid was incredible. I think he turned 21 after we got him in the band. Like, I think, if I remember right, his first little road trip with us down into Texas and stuff, he had to have a waiver for a couple of these places. Like, he couldn't come in until we went on stage because he wasn't even 21. Here at that point, I think I was middle, late 30s then. And so it's just the vibe, and it was just like he went from kind of playing and getting his feet wet into things, and now you're playing to a bunch of people, and you're sleeping in a van and doing that whole thing. But anyway, great drummer, though. And then he was in. Guy named Jeremy Clifton was in for a little bit. Then TJ was back again. Timmy was in the band for a while, too. As a matter of fact, that big show at Bricktown Event Center, that was when Timmy Braun was with us. TJ was with the band on drums probably the longest of anybody, and then Timmy Braun was the next longest. And then after those guys, it was just musical fucking chairs with drummers. Both TJ, Timmy, a couple other guys, all kind of like flip a coin who's playing drums tonight. So we just kind of lost it. And
you were like a blues band.
Yeah.
It was like whoever's available to play on Tuesday, that's it.
It goes back to the thing with Dirtbag, though, because it took so much. We had all this momentum, and then we hit that little bit of adversity, and it just deflated us big time. Because, it just sucked. Like, first of all, there were some issues with the sonics of the record, so we were having trouble getting it shopped properly. Like, people liked the band, they liked the songs, didn't like the record, but we didn't have $10,000 to fix it. So there was all that. It was just all the obstacles that every band goes through. We're no exception. We're not some special case. Every band has this shit. We just didn't see through it. Plain and simple. But it's all good.
And so after Horse, you guys put together another project called Earth Shook Run.
Earth Shook Run. Yeah, that's me and Ed, who is now back in. He's in Horse Called War now. The other guitar player opposite Eric, who's back. He emailed me about 6 months after Horse was kind of on that hiatus that not a lot of people knew about. Hey, I've got this record. Yeah, okay, send it. And knocked my fucking hair back, man. Really, really good record. I think we did that whole thing. He had all the music written. The drums were kind of scratched. And we went in there, and he finished all the music in a weekend. I think I went back like the next weekend. We did all the vocals. 2 or 3 weeks later, it was done, and then we put it out. Got some buzz. We started doing shows. You want to talk about a lineup. That band was stacked with Travis Phillips on drums, Ed Hayward on guitar, Andy, what's Andy's last name? Siva Andy.
Oh,
Hopkins. Andy Hopkins on guitar, and Cool Whip, Jason Etheridge on bass.
And your keyboard player, bro, Ben.
He didn't. That whole thing, we're not even going to get into that. That was so he could sing that one song, and we thought, well, he needs a little prop. That was stupid. That only happened to one show.
Right.
Then it was like, just come up and grab the mic from now on. Do you remember there was another band here that had a keyboard player, and his keyboards weren't even plugged in?
I figured most of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
So after that, that's when, you and I have been friends a long time, and Horse Called War would get back together and play shows occasionally here and there.
Yeah, we just kind of left it out there that, hey, we're just kind of here.
But you weren't really recording anything, and none of that old stuff had come out, especially none of the Provo sessions, none of the stuff you did with my camp at Red Audio Works came out. And, none of that stuff was out there. It was just becoming. And it really wasn't on any of the platforms anymore since Dirtbag.
Right, yeah.
So you guys finally decided, you know what, let's figure out how to re-record or remix, remaster, do what we got to do to make this record sound right.
Right. So the first idea was to remix, remaster it. And I won't go into the technical reasons why, because I don't want to come across like I'm...
Shit's broke.
Yeah, shit was fucked up. So we'll leave that where it is. Ed tried for the better part of, I'm not shitting you, about 3 years to put that record back together. Put the files and the stems and fix this corrupted, and it was just a fucking mess. And he goes, why don't we just retrack it? Fucking hey, let's retrack it. So that's what we did, and it took a while to who's on board, who's not on board. Do we want to write? Do we want to just retrack? And trying to do both. And anyway, finally got to the lineup where we're at now, and about see, when do we put that out? 2021. Yeah, right in time for the 15th anniversary. So we were doing it in 21, ahead of before I went to Kuwait the second time. We got it all done. Got about half of it done then we finished the last half this summer. Yeah, it's all done. It's all ready. We've remixed some of the old, re-EQ'd some of the very old stuff off the first 2 EPs. There was unreleased stuff. It's out there. Our Spotify's got everything, plus some new shit, and then the other half of Becoming is almost done. Like we were just talking on the way up here. I think we're gonna do a live stream of the mixes tomorrow or the next night and finish that up, and it sounds really fucking good.
So last week, you guys dropped this EP.
Yep,
now,
on the 19th.
Now you had sent me 3 of these songs.
2.
What, Drowning and Here and Now?
Drowning and Here and Now.
And so I had been playing a version of these, on the local show, and they were on Spotify.
They were on our Spotify just to put them out. But we decided the 2 new songs sounded so much better, so we took those back, and then we didn't really like the chorus for Drowning, so we rewrote the chorus for Drowning. And Brian Slusser actually collabed on that chorus with us. He was in Horse for a long time, and then he was in Bury the Kingdom, which, they're not together anymore. But, yeah, so he collabed on that song with us on the chorus riff, and we always liked the way that riff sounded. Weren't sure what to do with it since Brian wasn't with us anymore. He's like, yeah, use it. We kind of did some tweaks to it, put it back in. Yeah, it sounds a lot better with that. Anyway, we're going to get into talking riffs, and we'll be here all day.
So you put out this EP, and then there's the song about the bombing.
Yeah, 168-1. That is the line that McVeigh uttered when it all comes down to, how do you feel about your, and I'm paraphrasing, you're about to be put to death, blah, blah, blah. And his line is, what doesn't matter? At the end of the day, it's still 168-1. Meaning, he killed 168 people. You're only going to get, we only got one of him. It's not meant to glorify him by any way. Don't take it like that. This is absolutely fuck this guy. It's absolutely a fuck this guy song, but it's also about, what happened to our city that day. I remember, I'm 95, getting up, going to work that morning, and you just felt it. And I live 3 or 4 miles away from downtown at that point, maybe more like 5 or 10 anyway, and you felt it where I lived. We thought it was a gas explosion. No way was it a terrorist attack. Was the furthest fucking thing from your mind. So it's about that, and it's about, kind of our way of paying our respects to what happened and the victim. It's more about paying respects to victims and their lack of closure and their lack of justice until the end.
That's something that no Oklahoman will ever forget. If you were around when that happened, you're never ever going to forget it.
No doubt. What if?
So on top of that, something you guys haven't done in the past is a cover song.
That's right. We played a few covers live, but we never tracked one. I've always wanted to do Painkiller. I've always thought it was, for it to be such an old school thrashy song, I still thought it's one of the coolest metal songs of all time. It's when Judas Priest put that out, it was so different than anything else they'd ever done. They'd never done anything fast and double kick and with the solos and the sweep, the sweeping arpeggios and the solo and these things, and it just blew me away. And I've always thought that needs to be brought to now, and yeah, I like it. I'm pretty proud of it. I think we knocked it out of the park. I like what you
guys have done with it.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get it to Sirius, but I don't know how to give it to him. They've got Liquid Metal has a show called Corridor Covers. I have no idea how to get it to him. I've emailed those guys. I've DM'd their socials, and I don't know. Maybe we need to send them titty pictures or something. I don't know.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. Well, Aaron, do you have a release date for the second half of Becoming?
I don't have a firm date, but it's going to be in the next week or two. It's done. It's just mixing and mastering, tweaking the knobs. Next week or two should be before the first weekend of May. If not, let's see, what is that? The third? Probably the 3rd or the 10th of May.
And then the first half is available on Spotify now, and all. You guys really did in the last 5 years just kind of bring your streaming stuff up to date.
Part of that was because we didn't own it. You know, I'd never gotten anything from Dirtbag or anybody telling me you can have it, and it took the better part of a couple of years to finally track down the right person. Now it's not like I was emailing somebody every day. It's like, shit, I need to send that. Wait 90 days to send another one, and it probably the better part of 50 or 60 emails finally track down the right people and get shit sent back to me. Say, yeah, we don't want it. You can do whatever you want with it and get it released because we didn't own it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Always own your publishing.
Always
people.
own your shit. We were so thirsty and so hungry to get that record and get a deal, and yeah, they dangled a pretty nice carrot in front of us because I felt like we were really careful. We had the right people involved, you guys, and look it over, and they still got us.
Well, so. At that time, those were the only deals that existed.
Mm-hmm.
Were
Without doing what's the other artist 50? Mm-hmm. We knew we didn't want to do that. We knew we didn't want to get advanced a bunch of money. We knew we didn't want to get in the hole. We just wanted somebody to get the record out there and then help us jump on some tours. And, 6 months down the road, they hadn't done shit. Everything they promised fell through. Remember that movie they were going to soundtrack they were going to put us on? That fucking movie never came out. Yes, everything. Fuck labels, do it yourself. Fuck. If I knew then what I know now,
So, what are some new bands that you're into?
Like local or anything? I don't know about new. I tell you, local around here, new. At least new to me. You mentioned Peeling Flesh. Those guys, I need to see them live, but those guys blow me the fuck away, man. They're fucking absolutely incredible. See, what have I been listening to? Dude, I just found Fit for an Autopsy about 90 days ago. I know they've been around forever, but I just found them about 90 days ago. Love them. I'm listening to a lot of Silosis. I like them a lot. Orbit Cultures, I like that a lot. And I'm trying to listen to a lot of stuff that, give me ideas of how to take horse, into now. Be who we are and who we've always been for the last 20 years, but fresher and more now. I really like Code Orange, although they're I've never tried to be Code Orange, but I like them. I don't know. I'd have to grab my phone and look at my Spotify. What have I been listening to?
Hall & Oates, Wham.
Yeah. No, I listen. You know what I listen to? I listen to a lot of sports, and I listen to Max's podcast, and I listen to your podcast, and I don't know. I tell you, I know they're not new, but I'm looking forward to see what the new Killswitch record sounds like.
I'm excited.
The last one is really, really good. It's not like super modern. It's them being who they are, but it's fucking good. Hey, the last Unearthed record slams. Those guys are still killing it. I don't know, man. There's everything. I still like it all. All the same bands. I like the last Metallica record.
I loved it, man.
I thought it was fucking great. They got back to being. I felt like that could have came out after Kill 'Em All or after Ride, either one, and would have fit right in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lars can't play drums to save his life anymore, but I don't know if I'd be able to do it. What's he, 67, 68 now? Those guys are pushing 70, aren't they?
Yep, they're getting there.
Fuck.
It was still a great show, too.
Yeah, I saw plenty. Yeah, you got to go.
I did.
Fuck, how was Pantera?
Amazing.
What do you think about this?
I cried.
Yeah, I probably would have, too. What do you think about this buzz that they're doing a live record?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if I want Pantera.
I understand that there's people who are like, no way.
Well, then don't write a record. Just celebrate this would be a continuation of the celebration.
But
put out a live record and a live DVD.
But I'm one of those guys that I never got to see Pantera.
Oh, man.
I saw Damage Plan. I saw Down. I saw Super Joint Ritual. I saw all of these side. Hell yeah. I saw all of these side projects. Never got to see Pantera.
Early on in one of the early episodes of Here's the Deal. You guys Max talks about a Pantera show at a game room.
Mm-hmm.
Jammers. I was at that show. Do you know where Jammers was?
No.
Okay, Moore Business Park, where we had that batch of rooms where there's us and Bleed the Sky and Pariah and all those. Okay, you take that, go around that corner to the other end where the gun range and that qualifying place for like security cleat certification place was. That big room, that used to be Jammers.
Wow.
Yeah, back in the day. Back when I was like in high school and stuff. And Pantera played there like the summer 88, 89. And then I saw him at the Diamond Ballroom right after Cowboys came out with Forte. Dude, I got up against the rail on that show. When I showed up, it was one way. When I left, no shirt. Back in those days, a gold herringbone chain was the thing, right? Gold chain's gone. I'm got a busted eye. Both of my lips are bleeding. One of the earrings in this ear ripped out. Ask me how many fucks I gave. 0. I was happy to have had my ass kicked at that show. It was fucking great. That's back in the day when, there's no rules, man. Pits were fucking violent. Stage dive didn't matter. Get the fuck out of the way. Let's go. God, that was a good show. And then I saw Pantera 2 or 3 more times. I saw Metallica with Cliff.
Wow.
Yeah. State Fairgrounds. Master of Puppets Tour, the 3rd show on their support run with Ozzy. They got booed off, attempted to be booed off the stage. James Hetfield goes to the mic after about the 3rd song. He goes, "What's the matter? Is it too heavy for you, you fucking Okies? Boo, Ozzy. Oh, fuck you. Let's fucking go." And then they played like fucking Whiplash and just tore the place a new one. Fucking awesome.
That's badass.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
Well, did you see where his son's band is playing 89th?
James's band or Lars's?
James's son's band.
James's son's band. No. What band's he in?
Bastardane.
What is it called?
Bastardane?
Bastardane?
I think that's what it's called.
I'll look it up. Is it any good?
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Is it heavy?
They're from Georgia. It's kind of doomy.
Cool.
A little thrashy.
All right, doomy. That's got... Ben, you hear that? Doomy music. We'll go. I want to go to that big Texas Metal Fest. Have you seen that lineup?
What is it?
It's a 3-day lineup starting on a Friday at, that venue on the outside of downtown that's got the indoor and the outdoor stage. I can't think of what it's called right now. In Austin.
Austin, okay.
Friday's got Hatebreed. Saturday's got, I think, Bleeding Through. Sunday, those got like fucking Unearth, Upon a Burning Body. It's stacked. I'd have to look at the lineup, but it looks like a killer fucking lineup.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. He is Legend coming back. You asked me the bands I like. Boy, I like that band.
Who are they playing with?
I have no idea. They're playing. I could care less. Everybody else could be.
Oh, on that festival?
No. They're playing at 89th, a few days after Memorial Day.
Oh, I know where I'll be then.
Yes, sir. You guys want a good recommendation? A band that covers all rock genres.
He is legend.
Literally can do any genre of rock, sometimes in the same song, and somehow it fucking works.
Every time.
God, they're good.
And still be heavy as shit.
Yeah. Heavy as shit, and then he'll put a melody on it. Or there can be something clean, and he's barking over it. It just blows me away.
I want to see Maylene and the Sons of Disaster again.
I do, too.
They're touring again.
Yeah, they are. They got to be careful how many days they do in a row because of his condition still. But
yeah,
dude, you talk about that guy's supposed to be dead
multiple times over.
Fuck, riding a fucking ATV, Jesus,
crazy.
Yep. What else we got?
That's it, man.
You ready for football season?
No.
Boy, I can't wait. I'm ready for the SEC.
I could care less.
Man, breaking my heart. I love it. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm hoping but on more horse stuff. I almost said more horse shit. We're going to do some more. The biggest hurdle was to finally get all this out.
Yeah.
Get the slate clean, and we've finally done that. Other than a few demo things that'll never see the light of day on something like that, just because it's not there. Everything's out. We've got a clean slate. It's going to be fun to ride again. A lot of people say, were you playing shows? You're going to do shows. We want to do shows. We're using a session drummer right now, and we have been for over a year. So we don't even have a drummer that's a member of the band. That could change. We want it to change. It's just all in due time, right?
Just buy one of the Chuck E. Cheese robots.
Yeah. There you go. The big gorilla.
Yeah.
And then just run drum tracks.
Yeah.
Hey, we did think about getting like do you remember Craig Ferguson's talk show?
Yeah.
And he had Jeffrey.
Yeah.
The gay robot skeleton. We thought about doing something like that behind one of those electronic kits, which Ed has to. He's written some drums on those before, and set that up and just do tracks and just be goofy about it. But there's a certain level of goofy you can get away with, and there's taking it too far, and that's way too fucking far.
Well, I'll volunteer.
Cool.
To play drums.
There you go.
I've never done it before, but I'll give it a shot.
Sweet. How's your feet?
Terrible. I'm 45, so they operate about like 45-year-olds' foot.
So what you're saying is we got to write really sludgy doom.
No, just run the tracks, but I'll make it look good.
Make it look good. But yeah, so shows may be coming. We'd like for them to come, but I don't have anything.
Unless you want to cover "Oh Boy" by Buddy Holly as done by Richie Valens and his brother Bob.
And his other brother Bob.
Yep, because I can do that.
There you go.
Oh boy.
But yeah, the biggest thing is just to write. We got a lot, multiple ideas. I would hope we could have another record out 6 months to a year. We'll see. Biggest thing is to just get this out. Hope everybody enjoys it. We've had a hell of a run for over 20 years. I was bitter for a long time that we didn't quote unquote make it, but shit, if you'd have told 13-year-old me that first bought his first guitar, you're going to do all these cool things and hang out with all these cool people and do shit like we're doing tonight, still 20 years down the road, sign me up, man.
Yeah, all day, man.
Sign me up.
We did some cool stuff.
Fuck yeah, we did, man. We did a lot of cool bands we got to do things with, a lot of the cool friends I've met over the years through all this stuff, guys I respect that have worked equally as hard as I have, like Provo. Provo's the hardest working guy I've ever met in my life. Guys like him, guys like Jason Voth and those dudes, all the Heat Fix guys back in the day and those relationships. All the friends we made in Dallas, San Antonio, Denver, Colorado Springs, Kansas City, all, people that let us sleep on their couches and fed us and just all the cool, fun shit. One of my very best friends in the whole world is Noah Robinson. We're probably better friends since metal than we were during metal,
How's he doing?
He's great. He's great, dude. He's got a beautiful family. His kids are awesome. He's got a great wife. Yeah, that dude's got a good life. He's doing good things, man. He's doing awesome.
Very nice. Well, man, thanks for coming on.
Hell yeah, thanks for doing it. It was fun. I feel like we could sit here and talk for hours, but then people get bored.
Share all the links and stuff so people.
Let's see. Spot. We're on horsecalledwar.com or horsecalledwarofficial.com. Not a horse called war, just horsecalledwar.com. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music. Literally every single solitary streaming platform there is, we're on it, including YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We're on YouTube Music. All the things. Hit us up, man. Help grow our socials.
And you got some kick-ass merch.
We do have some good merch. I'm about to go.
You got sweatpants, bro.
Yeah. Hey, we got. I don't know if they're still on there. We had like bikinis and we got some kick-ass coffee cups. I've got one. They're fucking awesome, man. Big mouse pads. We got all the shit through our store with Big Cartel. But I'm about to go in and redo that. It needs to be redone. I haven't redone it in about a year. But yeah, we got shit tons of merch. Buy some merch. Yeah, get on there. Help grow our shit. Not for anything like money or record deals or anything like that. But there's so many people out there that are like, I didn't even know you were back. Well, it's because everything's tied to these fucking algorithms anymore. I don't have the money to pay someone to push that shit. I don't. That's you want to know how Beyonce and all these people are big? Because they got an army of people that just sit there and do this all day.
They got a bigger team of people doing that than they had to write the stuff.
Yeah. it's all circular. You get the algorithm going, and it becomes a snowball, and it rolls, and we're just lost with the.
So we're
zillion other
going to
bands.
just say Beyonce and Taylor Swift a whole bunch during this episode. That way, Beyonce and the Taylor Swift algorithm picks up this episode and takes it viral.
I feel like the fact that
Horse Called War sounds like Beyonce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I feel like now we're gonna both get bills this week because we said their names each 3 times. Anyway, again, thanks to everybody for all the years.
Real quick, just because you're of this age, have you listened to the Beyonce country record?
Well, I don't like country music.
I know you don't.
I've heard the one hit.
Okay.
I've heard pieces of it.
Do you know who wrote it or co-wrote it?
You're going to tell me Zach Malloy, aren't you?
No.
That guy.
Because he writes everything.
Well, and he's so fucking... Dude, that's a guy... You talk about guys that were an influence to me. Zach Malloy was a massive influence to me. I remember when Ethic Cult was coming up, they were already there.
Mm-hmm. And just starting.
Yeah.
Like on that rise.
Yeah. And I remember going to just their shows and just thinking, this fucking guy, he's got it. The whole band was good, but Zach had it.
So this will blow your mind. I'm standing backstage at the Canes Ballroom, and Zach is having a conversation with Hanson, and they're talking about how they signed with MCA Records out of all these major labels because that's who the Nixons signed with, and the Nixons were from Oklahoma.
That's fucking badass.
And it was just like, this is the weirdest, surreal moment
really cool.
to be a part of.
It's very circular. But anyway, who wrote it?
Raphael Sadiq from Tony.
What the fuck? That's crazy. Of course he did. Of course that's where it came from.
That's right.
All right, we can't top that.
Real country.
Yep. No shit, Tony.
Raphael Sadiq.
Damn.
And Aaron, I am probably the biggest Tony fan you've ever met in your life. Like, I am a